Hi, this is CK at CK Education, and today I want to talk about what you should do when people doubt you. I'm no stranger to this. I remember when I was in college, and I've shared this story many times with my students, but when I was in college, I didn't do very well. It was really hard for me. When I was in high school, I was a pretty average student. I did my absolute best to try to keep a 3.5 GPA. Okay, that was my goal in high school. I didn't try really hard. I just try to get by. And I wasn't that interested in academics at the time. And so I just, that was honestly my high school life. And then I carried those same bad study habits to college and then just got killed. My first 2 years were so hard. I had to retake like three classes and my GPA was just tanking. And it was so hard for me. And I thought about not going into engineering at all because I thought I wouldn't get into any of the departments. So one day I got so down about this and worried about my GPA and getting into an engineering department that I called one of the advisors. And I remember vividly, I was sitting in my dorm room and I picked up the phone. And we didn't have cell phones back then, so it was a corded phone, if you know what that is. And I called the advisor to get some encouragement. Advisors, they're encouraging. And there was this older lady who got the phone, and I was talking to her. I said, "Hey, I just would like to get some advice, and I'm thinking about becoming an engineer and applying to the engineering department next year. And so, but my GPA is a little bit low. My GPA is, whatever it was at the time. I don't remember exactly." And so she listens to me on the other line, and she says to me, yeah, the average GPA is, like 3.5 or whatever, and you're not like near that. So I don't think that it'd be a good idea for you to continue. I think you should probably look for another major to go into. Engineering is probably not for you. I couldn't believe like she just, she gave me this so nonchalantly, just very casually. She's basically told me to like go into another major. And she didn't just doubt me, she just had absolutely zero faith in my abilities, right? And justifiably so, I guess, because my grades weren't all that. But I remember that vividly. And I've remembered that since that day to this day. And there have been other people who have doubted. When I graduated, finally graduated college, so I did graduate. I did graduate with an engineering degree. And when I got my first career job out of college, it was as a salesperson, and eventually I wanted to become a manager and so forth. So I started out as a salesperson, but you didn't even need a college degree for that job. So when I went into that job, there were people there who thought like, why would you like work here? I mean, you don't even need you don't need a college degree to work here. And so, again, people sort of, talk down, sort of. It didn't really affect me, but I did hear people say those things. And then when I got into, when I was applying for my first engineering job, certainly there were people I assumed who thought, well, this guy, he has no engineering experience at all. He just graduated from college, went into something completely, not related to engineering. Now he wants to apply to an engineering job, but somehow I did get that job. Funny story is when I was leaving Seattle, when I was moving over here to the East Coast about 20 years ago, my grandma, who is now today about, I think she's like 96 years old, she said to me, and she said this, I'm sure out of love for me, but she basically said that, look, our family line, we are not meant to do business. Okay, I'm glad you're going over there, getting a safe government job, and so don't ever go into business because your grandfather, he wasn't very good in business. Your dad wasn't very good in business, so you're probably not going to be very good in business. And so she didn't. She said this out of concern, I'm sure she did, and out of love, but she doubted my abilities to do any kind of business. And so all throughout life, my point is there will be people close to you and not so close to you, people who love you, people who don't love you, who will doubt you. There will be many times in your life when people will doubt you. And there have been many times in my life, and I just gave you a couple of examples of when people doubted me, doubted my abilities, doubted my skills, doubted my ability to do a certain thing. Now, what do you do when people doubt you? Well, here's what you do. It all depends on how strong the desire is in your own heart that nobody can see, nobody can feel that, nobody can hear what you hear, nobody can see what you see, nobody can feel what you can feel. And if that desire in your heart, that passion, that hunger to do that thing is so strong, then you basically ignore the doubters. You ignore them and you just move forward. Okay? The doubters are just people with opinions. Always think of it that way. They're just people with opinions. It's just an opinion. Okay? Even if that person is your parent, it's just an opinion. Okay? And so, because even a parent sometimes cannot see the passion, the thing that you have in your heart that drives you to do that thing. And if that thing is something you really feel in the deepest part of your heart that you want to do that, you must do that, then I would ignore the doubters and I would move forward. And that's exactly what I did every time. So with the engineering thing, I plowed forward. I got through engineering school. I became an engineer. I worked as an engineer for about 12 or 13 years. And in 2005, I was named one of the 12 best in the business in all of North America in my industry as an engineer. And when I got that award and when I was published in the industry magazine, I sort of laughed to myself because I thought, man, and I was a guy in college, they said that I probably shouldn't even go into engineering, you know. So I remember those things like that. In 2009, 10, about that time frame, I started my own education business and it's come a long way. I'm 12 years into it now. I love it and it's going really well. And I think back to what my grandma said about I should never go into business. So it's, you know, people can say what they want and people can say it sometimes with their best intentions. They're not doing it to discourage you. Sometimes they are concerned for you. But understand that even in those times, it's just an opinion. Only you know in your own heart how strong that desire is. I just knew that I didn't want to work for anyone else anymore. So when I started my business about 12 years ago or so, it was just, you know, I just knew that's what I wanted to do. I had to do it. I must do it. I will do it no matter what. And I'm not going to go back and work for someone ever again. That was my that was my intention. That was my determination. Now, but nobody could feel that the way I felt it. And sometimes that's the case. You're going to have something in your heart where you feel so strongly about, you know, you must do that. You must go down that road, but no one else might understand that. And in those times, you just have to be true to yourself, true to your calling, and you got to go forward. And then later on, the doubters will, well, it doesn't really matter, you know, later on, but the doubters will see maybe that you made it. And if they don't, that's okay too. We never want to do things just to prove other people wrong, just to show other people off. It's nothing like that, okay? But sometimes that happens where people doubt you or criticize you or look down on you, and then you will accomplish the thing, you'll be successful, and then people will think, oh man, I didn't know that guy could do that. I didn't know he would end up like that. It's okay. You just keep going on. You just keep living your life. You keep being true to your own calling, not someone else's calling, your own calling. And this is so important. So when other people doubt you, but you have that strong desire, that passion, that fire, that hunger in your heart, and you know you have to, you must go down that road, what do? You ignore them and you stay focused on your goal and you keep going. And then if you do that, I think you'll just be so much happier and you'll have this sense of freedom in life that you never had before. So that's what I hope you'll do. And thanks again for watching this video. And until my next video, I hope you stay well.